Hi folks, it's Dean here from Dean's Beer Reviews. Just retreated to the quietness of the kitchen because the wife's watching X Factor in the next room. Right. Sorry for the delay there in the start. I had to physically turn the camera on and walk all the way around the table and get on here, so yeah, I'll have to do it again when we stop. So, well, we've got a Trappist today. I've been meaning to get to these, but as this is only my second beer review. Right. Trappist beer. I'll say a little teeny weeny bit about Trappist beers first. I won't bore you, but I'll just let you know exactly what we're dealing with. Trappist beers are brewed in obviously Trappist monasteries. Now, Trappist monks, as like a Cistercian order of monks, you can read up on them, what they stand for if you're really interested. But the point is, I think there's about 127 Trappist monasteries in the world, 7 of which have breweries. It used to be 8 a while ago. There was one in Germany, but for whatever reason that's no longer around. So there's 7. There's one in the Netherlands, Koningshoven. They make La Trappe, and we're going to do La Trappe sometime in the series. And there's 6 in Belgium. There's Chimay, there's Orval, there's West Flatarian, which is very hard to get hold of. There is Rochefort, Westmar, and Ashel, that's the one, which is right at the top. Orval, which is the one we're doing today, there you go, Orval Trappist Ale, is that's right down the south of Belgium. It's on the French border, at the Abbaye d'Orval, funnily enough. And the thing about Trappist beers is there's a few rules which which enables them to be called Trappist. That's why there's only 7 in the world. One of them is a couple of them. Basically, it's got to be brewed within the confines of a Trappist abbey, for a start, under supervision by at least one of the Trappist monks, which is fair enough. And the other main one is they don't make profit from it. Obviously, being monks don't need it anyway. But the profit, anything they make, goes straight back into the community and farming and things like that, or into the production of the beer. So it's all about the beer. You're not getting any mass-produced rubbish with these. That's why they're some of the best beers in the world. It's all about the beer. Right, this one is an amber type coloured beer. It's like a cloudy amber beer, as you'll see. It's strength-wise, it's very tame for a Belgian beer, especially a Trappist, because some of them get really strong. It's only a 6.2% ABV, which is very drinkable and very tame and lovely. It's quite a young beer. It shows you the bottled on and best before. I mean, it's got a best before date of 2016. A lot of these beers probably live longer than that. They get better with age. But this was actually bottled on the 12th of September this year. So I've had one of these before, and it was a bit older, so it'd be interesting to compare the taste. Apparently the younger beer is supposed to be more sort of fresh and hoppy and more bitter, and the older one's supposed to sort of have a more refined, yeasty, sort of old hoppy flavour, but perhaps we'll do an older one in the future. Anyway, enough of me gibbering on, let's crack it open. Right. I've had this out of the fridge for a while, so it's probably about 15 degrees, something like that. The recommended serving temperature is between 12 and 14 degrees C, so I'm not far off. Got a lovely attractive bottle cap. I've already got one of these in my collection, but there it is. The fish with a ring in its mouth. Something to do with some lady a long time ago, in the 1000s or something, losing a wedding ring in the sea and praying, and a fish brought it back up to her. You can read about that, right? Straight away, as soon as you open it, you just hit with like a malty, bitter sort of smell rather. That's before I've even poured it, and you can see the bubbles, the foam is starting to rise up the bottle, so this is good. This one, as recommended by the Abbey themselves, is best served without the sediment. In fact, a lot of pubs in Belgium, a lot of bars that serve these sort of beers, recommend you, especially with this one, you have the sediment served separately in a shot glass. Yeast, B vitamins, health giving properties, etc. Trusty tulip glass, let's give it a pour. If anyone wants to message me and tell me that I talk too much, then I understand. it's just nice to have a bit of history, you know, and the craft that goes into the actual beer. You know, it's not Stella Artois for crying out loud, it's got a story behind it. Right, here we go, look at that big head. Not me, the beer. Right, pop that down. The camera's making funny noises, so I'll get up and check that it's still running. I'll be 1 second. We're good. Right, straight away. Big, slightly off white head. Full of bubbles, man. It looks brilliant in the glass. Like I say, the cameras just don't do it justice. They hold it up to the light, it's a lovely golden straw, sort of almost. It's got golden straw close around the edge with a light, but it's just mainly it's a deep ambery yellow colour. It smells incredible. It smells absolutely lovely. It's like a caramel toffee bitter malt smell, but with a good dose of sweetness. Ah, man, I just want to drink that. It smells lovely. Right. So you've seen what it looks like. You've heard what it smells like. Let's have a taste. Dean happy. Another taste. Now, I don't know how old the other one I had was, and we're talking about a year ago here. I don't know how old it was when I tasted it, but this only being, it's fresh, you know, 12th of September. I much prefer this, personally. It's got a very rounded, you can taste the bitter on the end of your tongue. It's a bit coppery, but in a nice way. The mouthfeel is medium bodied, it's definitely not a heavy bodied beer. The carbonation is good, you can feel it in your mouth. It's all natural carbonation, it all comes from the yeast sediment. Because don't forget, these are re-fermented in the bottle, that's why the yeast sediment's in there. It's gingery, malty. It's dry more than it is sweet, but there's a good balance of sweetness. I'm just going to have another taste so I can yeah, that tastes incredible. It's a warming sort of taste. It's predominantly malt. There's a slight balance of sweetness to the dryness, due to the fact that along with quite a lot of other Trappist beers, they actually add candy sugar. It's like a liquid sugary syrup solution, basically, to the brew, just to balance all the hoppiness. This is dry hopped, and I think dry hopping is where they, rather than add doses of fresh hops, they actually bundle the hops up into a sack and let them infuse, and I think they take them out again. I think that's how it works, rather than, you know, leave them in for. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but dry hopping is it gives it a, as it sounds, a dry sort of bitter taste. The bitterness in the back of your throat and on your tongue, it makes it refreshing. That is caused by the hops. So I'll give it another taste, and then we'll give it the lowdown and a rating. Yeah, malty sweetness, as with a lot of beers, but there's a good dose of dry hops at the end. It's one of those beers that you just want to savour. Food-wise, I've never drunk it with food, but I would guess it would go well with something maybe a little bit on the greasy side. I mean, us in Britain, we like to eat things like chips a lot, it's stereotypical, and things like that, and fried food. This would actually go very well. It would cut straight through it. But personally, I would just prefer to drink this on its own. It's a lovely beer. Orval Trappist Ale. It's one of my favourite beers. This is only the second time I've had it. It's one of my favourite beers for sure. It's fairly easy to get hold of from all good beer suppliers. You'd have to get it on the internet, really. You might find it in some specialist shops and cafes around the country. I don't know of many, but the internet's always the best place. It's usually cheaper as well. I remember, if you want to know if something is an authentic, genuine Trappist product and you're not familiar with the actual brands, then I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a stamp there, like stamp there, a little gold stamp. It could be varying colours, depends on the brand, but it looks exactly the same. It says authentic Trappist product. Then you know you're definitely getting the genuine article that's come from one of those 7. Give these guys a chance. These monks really know how to make a beer. Yeah, Orval Trappist Ale, one of many. We're going to do at least 3 more in the near future. One from different Trappist abbeys. So, but for now, this one I'll definitely get a good 9 out of 10 from me. So yeah, give it a shot, see what you think. If my reviews helped, it'd be nice to get some feedback. No pressure. But also, if you enjoy the beer and you've got anything else to say about it, or anything, drop us a line. Cheers. Camera.